Stream on what needs to be on your desk because these are the questions that I get. Like, Jody, what do I actually keep on my desk? So let's go there. Let's absolutely go there. The first thing I want to say is, if you don't already know me, my name's Dr. Jody Dinnerman, and I'm the founder and creator of all things Staffless Practice. And what I want to do is I want to play for a minute about what we need to make sure of is always within arm's reach of our desk at the office, but also our desk at home if we have a desk at home. So in my office this week in Staffless Practice community, we're talking about organization. And I definitely have organization issues. And what that means is, yes, I was absolutely raised by a Virgo, somebody who organization was always a big part of our world, the kitchen, the bedrooms, all of it. So naturally, when I go into a place of overwhelm, I start organizing things because that's what I learned when I was a kid. If I get overwhelmed, I go downstairs and I clean the kitchen. So when I decided to run a practice without staff, or with staff who only comes in to do what they're great at doing, part of what I knew I needed to figure out is what needed to be in front of me at all times. And I have a few things, a few go-tos for this kind of thing. Let me also say that if you are, this is a big deal, if you are one of the members of the Joy-Filled Practice community, the club at Staffless Practice, one of our students, or you're in the club, on Thursday this week in Masterclass, one of my dear friends, Andrew Mellon, is a professional organizer. He is a big deal in this world. He's going to spend an hour with the Staffless Practice community going over things that we would think you would need to implement when it comes to being organized, but he looks at it from completely the other angle and makes you question everything you ever knew was true. So when it comes to organization. So here are my go-to things on my desk. And my world might look different than your world, so just make this true for you. Make this true for your side of the computer, whatever you need. But here's my ask for you. Take the time to figure out what you need to make your space work for you, to make your schedule work for you. So thing number one, you know, I know that I'm speaking to a lot of environmentalists, so if I talk about using Post-its and I offend you, it's really not my intention at all. I am a huge fan. And here's why I'm a huge fan. These days, at 50 years old plus, I'll have a thought and it will leave just as soon as it comes in. If I'm in a meeting with somebody and I have like 3 thoughts during that meeting, instead of asking that person to wait a second, I need to grab my book or I need to type it in or whatever, I very quickly grab, these are my Band-Aids. These are 4 Band-Aid moments. And I have Post-its all over my desk area. I have a Post-it here for my schedule for the day. I have a Post-it here for a note that I can't forget. We're doing an AI for the wellness practice course today in the club. And so I have all these notes of like, ooh, I have to remember to do that. Here's the agreement around the Post-it situation. The agreement is that before the end of the day, before I turn my lights off and I'm done with my desk and I put my book away and I do all the things, before that happens, I take all of the Post-its from the day and I put them in. Is it ironic that my mom's calling? No. I put them in, I put my to-do items from my Post-its in my book. I'm a pen to paper girl. I use a book. Some people might use a task organizer online. I need to see it on paper. In fact, I need to see it from the Post-it to, I'm going to do this on Wednesday. I'm going to do this on Friday. And all I'll do, I don't even need to write it. I'll take this note. This one says Chat GPT for contact. And I'll take this note and I'll put it on my day on Friday. And then on Friday morning, when I open my day today on Tuesday morning, and I've got a few Post-its, that means that these are the things that I need to get done today. Does that make sense to you guys? So that's my Post-it system. Okay, that's thing number one. That's absolutely essential for my desk. I also want to remind you to, and I say this all the time with my students, you guys, I don't know what my hair is doing today, so please excuse it. It's a distraction for me. I'm just going to try to not look at myself. I need to organize my hair. So when it comes to systems, my ask, this is a solid ask, my ask for you is nail the system into the stud of the wall, but hold on to it lightly. Give yourself permission to pivot when you need to pivot. Know that they call it practice for a reason. It's something that you fall down, you get back up. I was saying to one of my clients yesterday, if I fall down 50 times, I get back up 51. Then I've learned the lesson from the fall. We're going to continue to fall down, but guess what else we're going to do? We're going to continue to get back up. Whether that's with my practice, it's with my kids, it's with my house, it's with my dog, it's with all of it. I fall down 50 times, I get up 51. That means that every time I fall down, I learn the lesson. I pull up my big girl pants and I get back up and I do it again. Get back up and do it again. Get back up and do it again. So with all of the systems that I'm putting in front of you, hold on to them lightly. Know that you will screw it up 20 times, but as long as you clear it up 21 times, you're ahead of the curveball. And then eventually you'll realize, oh my goodness, I haven't screwed this up in like 3 days, or I haven't screwed this up in 3 months or 3 years or whatever it might be. That's why I'm always talking about how your perfect practice member is you 3 to 5 years ago, because you figured out how to not screw that up. I've figured out a lot of the things that I was struggling with 3 to 5 years ago. I figured out my system for them. So I can certainly help somebody else figure out their system for it too, because I just figured it out. It's just around the corner from where I was 3 to 5 years ago. That's why that's my perfect practice member. Let me go back to the desk and what needs to be on it. I'm very sensory stimulated, so I always have like a good lip balm on my desk. I always have my essential oils on my desk. These are actually sticks, which I really like using because this is Valor, so I literally just roll it on, and nobody needs, you don't see what I'm doing right now. You don't see that I'm rubbing my hands together like this, right? And then while my client is talking to me, this is if you're dealing with people on the screen, I'm smelling the essential oil that I just put in my hands. So I have that. So this protects my physiology. This protects my physiology, right? And then I have, I always have my phone. And if I'm on with or in with a talker, and we all know what a talker is, right before the talker walks in, I'll set my alarm. And my alarm will be set for a minute past when I'm supposed to be done meeting with them, and I'll hear the alarm go off with my talker. And a talker is somebody who, you know, we're always talking about respecting time, energy, money, and practice. Those are the things that need to be honored and respected for fair exchange to happen. So if I'm in with somebody who wants to tell me all about it, I'm in love with my patients. Like, I want to hear them. I want to know what is happening in their world. So I'll let them talk for 22 minutes, even if we only have 20 minutes together, right? My phone just totally fell. So when it comes to my talkers, one of the things that I have on my desk is my phone with an alarm set for 21 minutes to go off for an alarm, so that I can say to my talker, Sally, hey Sally, I gotta take this. I love you, I love listening to your story, and I gotta go on to the next person. It's kind of like having a get out of jail free card when, you know, like on the Monopoly board. You want to make sure to protect your time, energy, money, and to protect Sally's time, energy, money, and Bob, who's coming in right after Sally. You've got a system in place. You have a policy or procedure in place in order to protect yourself when Sally wants to tell you about it for 22 minutes, but you only have 20 minutes to listen. Okay, what else do I have? Big fan of Rescue Remedy, always, again, to protect my biology. I keep it right here on my desk. The other things I have as far as in my office is concerned, I use peppermint oil to like change the channel. I'll dab some on my tongue. It activates my sinuses, my cranial system, and it clears, right? So I always have a bottle of peppermint oil within reach. I'm a huge fan of a very healthy stash of pens. So this is the kind of thing that I will replenish often. If you have a Casper in your practice, if you know, you know. If you have a Casper in your practice, make sure it's on their checklist to replenish your pens regularly. A solid checklist for the week is another thing that you should have on your desk at all times. I'm a little bit behind the curveball this week. I didn't actually print my checklist, but if you want to know what to have on your checklist, and here comes my pitch for this week's free training. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we are spending an hour with me and my coaches. And wherever you're watching this video, you're going to see a link underneath it that says joyfilledpractice.com/invite. And if you're watching this 3 months down the road, there's always an invite that's happening, but we're very selective about who we let into it, okay? And we're going to be spending an hour together tomorrow, Wednesday, at 1 p.m. Eastern, going over what needs to be on the checklist. What do we do with the phone? How do we set up the emails? How do we set up the text messages? All of those things are going to be covered tomorrow in the invite-only training. So that's what I want. That's the action step, the takeaway from my live today. Make sure you grab a seat to the training. Is there anything else? The only other thing I want to say makes a huge difference in my world is having two screens. So if you could see my desk right now, I have a screen here and I have a screen here. So this screen has one set of information on it, and this screen has another set of information. I'm also a big fan of keeping my desktop super clean. Another system at the end of the day, I take all of the stuff that's populated on my desktop and I put it where it needs to go. I need to have protecting time, energy, money, right? So protecting my energy. If I look on my desktop screen and it's a mess and there's stuff everywhere, I'm going to be overwhelmed every time I take a look at it. So I want to make sure protecting my energy, and you guys, this might sound like a little thing, but it turns out to be a big thing. Any screen I look at, I want it to be clear on what to do when I walk up to that screen, when I click on that screen. Any book or paper, notebook that I use, I have these everywhere. Any notebook that I use, I want to make sure that there's plenty of space on the page to write, right? And these are the kinds of things that we're going to go into in Masterclass this week with Andrew Mellon. The only other thing I want to show you is I'm a big fan of these two. This is like it's a piece of stationery that I order from, I think it's from the Stationery Studio, and I love, one of the reasons I love it is I love the size of it. Like it fits in my notebook really well. But also if I want to write something down for a practice member, how I do anything is how I do everything, right? So I want this to look sharp. It's got my practice information on it. If I write down, if I say go over to the health food store and grab a bottle of Rescue Remedy or whatever it might be, I'll write Rescue Remedy on this. I'll say, Sally, take this over to the health food store and show it to whoever's working there. Then they see that then I'm supporting that relationship at the health food store or at the podiatrist or at the dentist or whatever it is. So these papers have come a long way, and I always have a stock of them wherever I am. The only other thing I want to mention that I think is really important is to have like a really lovely bio ready at any given time with an updated photo, with a blurb about who you are and what makes you unique, with your website address, with your email address, with all of the things, but make sure it's branded and beautiful, which brings me to our AI course today. We're going to talk a lot in the AI course about how to use AI for images, for beauty, PowerPoint presentations, self-portraits, totally cool stuff, you guys, creating logos, all of it with AI, and that's what we're talking about today inside of the Joy-Filled Practice Club. Okay. I think that's everything I wanted to share with you. Go make the world better with great care. I'll talk to you guys next week.